The Meeples and Miniatures podcast is sponsored by Too Fat Lardies and Miniature Wargames with Battle Games magazine, and also by the generous donations of you, the listener. Thanks to everybody for their continued support.
The Meeples and Miniatures podcast, episode 144. Salute road trip with Neil
and Dave Love
and Josh in the back.
Hello.
This show was recorded on the 25th of April 2015.
Early o'clock.
Morning everybody. Does this time of the morning really exist on a Saturday? Here we are, it's 7:30, and we're in the car on the way down to Salute 2015.
Woohoo!
Yeah, here we are. There's me, there's Dave, and my son Josh.
Hello.
And yeah, we're off to Excel for a salute for another year. So guys, what are we looking forward to?
Spending money.
Eh?
Spending money.
Spending money. But Dave, you never spend money.
No, I don't. But I might break the habit of a lifetime today.
Right. Okay, so if you want to spend money, what are we going to spend money on, Dave?
Spending money. Well, I suppose we're going to add now to our table that we've been working on since November. Has it been that long? Yes, it has. And I think my paras need a few extra NCOs, and I definitely need some paint for those 15mm tanks I've got now.
Oh, you mean the ones that I blagged you into buying this morning?
Yeah. So basically, I had actually spent money in Salute, at Salute, or on Salute Day, let's say, before I'd even got there on figures.
Yeah, but I needed some spending money, Dave.
Well, yeah.
So do me a favour.
Oh, all right then.
Okay, good man. How about you, Josh? What are you looking forward to today?
I'm just looking forward to going to see some more Halo stuff. Hopefully they'll have the space stuff there, and hopefully I'll be able to go visit my old friends for the Space Vixens from Mars, see what they've done this year.
Right, okay.
So what about you, Neil?
What about me? Well, it has to be said, the Halo stuff is quite exciting. It'll be nice to finally be able to talk about the Halo ground game, since I've known about the Halo ground game for several weeks and have been sworn to secrecy.
Sworn to secrecy.
Sworn to secrecy. So I'm really looking forward to seeing all the Halo stuff.
Josh was going to get grounded for the rest of his life, wasn't he?
Something like that. Yes. But well, the big hope of today actually is to get round and talk to lots of people. In past years, I suppose in some ways I've been a little bit too polite.
Yeah.
And as a result, sometimes you have to be a little bit forceful as far as getting interviews are concerned, and turn around and say, "Excuse me, can I have 10 minutes now?"
Ambush journalism strategy. Shove microphone in face, talk now.
Yes, excuse me, I've hit the record button, please talk to me. Yes. So that's the plan, is to try and get loads of people to chat to. It's probably going to be the case we won't get around everybody, because Salute is just one of those days where there is so much there.
The game I'll be looking forward is the new Chain of Command variant fighting season with Too Fat Lardies. I'd like to see what that's all about.
Yeah, it will be good to get a game of that in. So, all being well, we'll get to have a chat with Nick and Rich and get to play a game. Certainly looking forward to that. Seeing the blogs on that looks really interesting. Other than that, it's trying to catch up with a few people, see some of the latest stuff that's available. I mean, there's always too much to see. There's always stuff you're going to miss, and hopefully there's always going to be a bit of that hidden gem. You never know. So we'll see how it goes. But we're spending a day in London at a model show. I mean, it doesn't get a lot better than that, does it? Unless it involves curry. Are we going for curry and beer later?
And girls. Well, not for you, Neil, obviously.
Yes, I'm the married one in the car. But okay, so
that's more women for me and Josh.
Yeah. So yes, the best day you can have without involving beer, curry, and girls. What more can you ask for? So stay tuned, and hopefully we'll have lots of chat for you during the day. So here we are at Salute.
Just beginning to let the hordes in now.
Yeah, it's quite busy. It seems to be a bigger hall than normal. We've spoken to a couple of guys, and they're saying, it does seem to be a big place. We've had, we're seeing lots of people coming in.
Got this nice big handy walkway up the middle as well. So I mean, the edges are still a bit squashed around the sides, but plenty of room between the stands, and you can easily walk up and down the centre of the whole exhibition quite easily without, tripping over everyone.
Yeah, and it's actually, the majority of the time you're not being bumped into by guys with big guys with backpacks, which is quite unusual for a war game show.
So big guys in backpacks with black t-shirts on at a war games convention. Who'd have dreamt it?
I can't see any of those around me at all.
No, I can't.
No. Right. So obviously we've got hopefully loads of interviews for you today. Lots of stuff to do. We'll chime in from time to time with things like interesting things we've seen. But we'll speak to you later. We've got one half of the Too Fat Lardies with us. Hi, Nick.
Hello, how you doing?
Oh, wow, how you keeping, you all right?
Yeah, I'm very good, thank you very much. Looking forward to a busy day.
Yeah, well, it's filling up quite nicely, isn't it?
Yep. Yeah, it seems to have resolved some of the queuing issues from this side. It doesn't look quite so bad. I don't know what it's like from the other, but hopefully people have had a better experience.
Yeah. So, you're here today with, a bit of a different looking setup from normal. It's not green.
No, it's not green. Well, there is a little bit of green on it, and in fact we have purchased some new trees just for the event.
Just for the event?
So you're looking at Fighting Season, which is our ultra-modern variant of Chain of Command.
Okay.
And we're running it today as a series of presentation and demonstration games. Guys can come along, dip in, dip out, play a bit of the game. It's not ready to hit the market yet, but we're really interested to hear what people think about the system and what their experience is of having a go as from their side of the table, if you like.
Yeah, because you kind of been playtesting this
forever.
Forever. And of course, across the world, haven't you?
Yeah, that's right. Well, it's been led very much by Lee in Australia, and he's working closely with Richard. So Lee's bringing the expertise and historical input, and Richard's bringing the game design context, and we're helping out to make it an experience. So you bring the two together to a game that hopefully really ticks all the boxes, is the idea.
Okay, so if you've been living under a rock for the past 6 months and haven't read the Lardies blog, I mean, shame on you if you haven't. So first off, what we're looking at is Afghanistan.
So we're looking at Afghanistan. This particular game is a sort of search the compound game in Afghan. We're using, as I say, Fighting Season, so Chain of Command. The basic mechanisms from the World War II version survive in some shape or form into this. We have two sides playing, one team playing the coalition forces, which in this case is a British Army, and the other side are playing the insurgents.
Right.
And it really gives a different mix to the game. If you played Second World War Chain of Command, or if you played Second World War in any rule set, whether you play German or Russian or French or Italian, or you're basically working in the same kind of organised structure. In this kind of game, the coalition and the insurgents are completely different beasts, and they need to work and play in completely different ways. So it's very asymmetrical in terms of the game design, game experience, and the way the game plays on the table.
So quite a change in the game mechanics, although I suppose the core mechanics are in place.
You'll recognise it, If you play Chain of Command, you'll be able to pick this up and play it really quite quickly. The activation dice are similar. The way the force composition works is recognisable. The patrol phase survives because that's an important part of the way the game mechanic works, we think. So you have patrol phase to dictate the way your jump-off markers are positioned, and then the game plays in a slightly different way, and the emphasis on the game becomes different depending obviously which side you're playing.
Yeah.
What we found, and it's interesting the perspective on this, whether or not this is because the war is so close to all our minds and hearts, etc., bearing in mind that it is so recent, the game really shifts when the coalition receive a casualty.
Yeah.
The emphasis really does become about casualty evacuation, and so that's a really important part of it. We want to keep that.
Yeah.
I think that's very important. So the game, it's playing out here. Guys are having a go with it. Richard's explaining what's happening, and we're just really keen on getting their feedback as to what they feel about it and which bits work for them.
Yeah. All right, so we're still very much in kind of final game design process, play testing.
Yeah, getting some of the nuances right. We've got some great ideas for how we're going to use some of the chain of command points differently. Or we have an idea that the coalition, for instance, can have something called extended Overwatch, which means a kind of 360 Overwatch, and that's quite powerful. The modern day armies put out such firepower, and we want to make sure that we get that quite right, because if you can see it, you can take it out. So this whole idea about positively identifying the enemy, keeping eyes on the enemy, using your force in a way that maintains its integrity and avoids casualties is a really important part of it. And then when you get that casualty, how that influences the way the game plays is really important output in terms of the way that you use your leaders to get that guy to safety in the most effective way you possibly can.
Yeah, because I noticed during some of the playtesting blogs you put up, you were saying things like, okay, a group of villagers appear. Or are they? So things like target acquisition and target identification are really important.
Yeah, very much so. And you can't just. What we don't want is a sort of walk around, shoot them up. Okay, corral, British Army arrive, level the whole place, and everybody goes home. That's not the game we're looking to get. We want a much more cagey game than that. And the realities of target identification are a real problem. Yeah. So that's a key thing for us as well. And the role that the civilians play on the tabletop and what happens to them when the firing starts is a tough one. That I think game designers always struggle with what happens with civilians, and this is no exception to that. It's a tough nut to crack. We've got some ideas on it, and we're using chain of command dice to influence all the kind of peripheral stuff that's important in terms of getting the right outcome. So we really hope that people can get their teeth into it, have a go with it. Don't ask me when it's going to be published, because I couldn't tell you. When it's ready.
Easter, yes. Well, thanks for taking the time to talk to us, Nick.
Yeah, no problem. Enjoy
have
the
a
show.
really good day. Yeah.
Thank you. Nice talking to you. I've enjoyed your new haircut. It's very smart. I approve.
Thank you. Try and take it off you, mate. And if you didn't see Nick's tweet this morning, Nick is showing his age by harping back to one of the bits of the British kit looking like something out of the banana splits.
Yeah, and we can't remember all the names of the banana splits, so can you remember the name? We were really struggling.
It's so Fleagle.
Maybe have a phone in or...
hang on, Fleagle, Beagle, Snork, and I can't remember the fourth one.
You're doing better than us then.
Oh.
Okay, good.
Right, good to see you.
Who was the fourth one? We might never know the answer to that. Tweet the answer to anybody.
Okay, thanks for chatting.
Enjoy the day.
Well, with Walter Astis from Commission Figurines. Hello, Walter.
Hi, yeah.
Hi. How's the show been so far?
Actually, extremely good already. Different scales, different people, lots of interest in everything. So, yeah, well happy.
Okay, yeah, and Walter's Commission Figurines is primarily MDF company.
Yeah, absolutely, totally MDF. Yeah,
totally MDF. But lots of different things, and perhaps some things that people might not expect.
Absolutely. I'm referring to the 6mm figurines.
6mm figurines. Now we saw these. It was Derby. I think it was Derby last year, wasn't it?
That was my first time out with them. Yeah.
Yeah. So what? So they're actually on sale.
Absolutely. Yeah. £2 a pack for 96 figures. Infantry.
Yeah.
Or 24 figures of cavalry for £2. Artillery, 4 guns, 2 limbers, 4 crew.
Yeah.
And they're for £1.50. The idea being, okay, they're not going to compete with Adler or Bacchus, but they are for a simplistic start to any Napoleonics game in that scale.
Yeah.
Just to get people interested.
Okay, now what we're looking at here, you've got them based up on, is this for like Grand
Volume
Army?
bayonet.
Oh, volume bayonet.
Yeah, 3-inch squares.
3-inch squares.
Yeah.
But obviously, you can base them up for anything. So, one of the things, let me think, something like...
Absolutely, Polymos for Bacchus bases, 60 by 30. Mammarian Romans there. As a lead cohort.
Of course, if you're looking for some cheap figures for Blucher or something like that.
Absolutely. If you want to try a set of rules out, why not start in 6mm with some nice straightforward, simplistic packs? You don't have to put detail on them. Just a bit of flesh, bit of blue, bit of white for French, red and white for red and grey for Brits, and just start. Just have a go. And if you're not happy, throw them away. For that price, everybody wastes a tenner a month. For a tenner, you got an army.
Disposable armies. It sounds wrong, doesn't it?
It sounds crazy, doesn't it?
Yeah.
When we're so used to buying a £150 army in metal, and it's got to go somewhere. It sits in the loft. Well, if you're not happy with this,
I don't think, Walter, you're doing yourself justice. I think they're better than just throw away. They're good. And saying it's a cheaper version of playing with Bacchus figures or whatever, they're good figures in their own right. They are nice.
Thank you. I'm glad people are saying they like them. It's a niche market.
Yeah.
People have got to want that scale. Most people, I could never paint those. It's stunning how many people try them and then can paint them.
Yeah.
Because 6mm is no more difficult than any other scale. It's just different.
Yeah. It's a different look, isn't it? It's all about mass effect. It's not about how individual figures look.
That's
okay,
right.
so saying on the armies wise, so are the figures that different depending on what army you're going for?
Well, your Russians and your Prussians are very similar.
Yeah.
Brits are different because they got the stovepipe and the Belgique.
Yeah.
French, obviously, because of their shako. Similar to the Austrian shako, so your Austrians look very much like your French. Cavalry different. I've now got cuirassiers, dragoons. I've just done the British heavy cavalry because it's a different horse furniture and a different helmet. I've got light cavalry, hussars of all fashions, different hats, different horse furniture. So just a slight different styling on the MDF figure makes it slightly different, but can work for different armies.
So we really are down to that sort of level of detail on the etching.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, absolutely. You could, the difference between an Austrian cuirassier and a French cuirassier because of what he looks like in the figure.
Oh, fantastic!
Absolutely. Yeah, thank you.
And you can get that sort of detail on a 6mm wooden figure.
On an MDF figure, even.
Oh,
absolutely.
well, yes, MDF. Yeah.
Once it's in the laser, you've got the detail on it. It'll cut it. It'll engrave it.
Fantastic.
So, it's fairly awkward because I do both sides.
Yeah.
You're flipping it, you've got to be accurate, otherwise you lose a whole board's worth of figures. But I'm getting
the alignments off, don't you?
You've got to get the alignments just right. The odd one goes slightly up. It's like having flash on a metal figure or a plastic figure, and just clean it up a little bit, a bit of a filing, spray it black, and away you go.
Yeah, and that's not the only thing you've got. I mean, we're looking here at it's La Haye Saint.
Without the engraving, I've just got to do the windows and the doors, but it'll be ready it's got to be ready for the 18th.
Yeah.
I've got Papelot coming along. I've got a Village of Plassenoir, and I'll do Le Huguemont as well. The whole pack looking at around £25 for all of the buildings, £25 to £30.
Fantastic. Okay, so moving away from 6mm, what else have you been working on?
Well, the trenches. I've got 6, 10 and 15mm trenches.
Yeah.
Either in a 1 metre pack, so a whole metre's worth of trench. Just the MDF, just the panelling and the base. Just need some filler to stuff on it.
Yeah.
So 1 metre length, or a mixed pack with things like gun emplacements, machine gun posts, etc. I've got my 15s, 20s and 28 buildings, my ruins, as always.
Yep.
I've just got an example here of what my steampunk's going to be for my next Kickstarter.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Oh, that looks nice. That's
really
just
cool. The framework. It's called the Skywalk. I designed that before Worcester City Council. I had that on my website before they did. Where you've got the rich people live above, the poorer people live below. I'm doing all the buildings for that, and that's going to be a Kickstarter. Buy me another laser. That's the idea.
Yeah. Okay. So when are you kind of looking at that?
Next couple of months. It's got to be. I've got to get going on it. So many people asking now, so I really need to get that done.
Of course, I mean, steampunk terrain is something that there's a couple of companies that do bits and pieces, but if you've got a good design and you're doing something different, there's a big market out there, isn't there?
As well, my daughter's an artist, and she's going to be doing my characters for it. So Sir John Peel, and the Peelers, Hanny and Ball, my two doctors that do all of the changes of arms and metalwork. Hannibal. Anyway, So I've got a load of ideas, and she's going to do the drawings, and we're going to have a drawing-assisted story that goes with it.
Right.
So not comic strip, but a drawing-assisted story.
Okay.
And hopefully, and I don't think they'll mind me saying, I'm talking to the Black Pyramid guys about doing figures for that particular range and those characters that I'm creating. So, and they want to do a Kickstarter. They were looking at it as an option. So maybe we could do that. We're hoping to do something together,
Fantastic.
which would be quite good. Yeah. Oh, I'm a little tram from their 15 mil.
Oh, yes. Yeah, well...
Just as an aside.
Yes. It's one of these stores that, it's small, but everywhere you look, there's something interesting and something, walled farms and all sorts, and ruins. And,
all different,
and not forgetting the infamous Stalingrad mill.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. Not sold one today yet, but looking forward to it. A couple of people interested. And the markers, of course. I do all the big ranges of markers. So quite a range, and for one laser, it's quite a lot of work. Doing full-time work as well. But the idea is to get a second laser and maybe convince the wife that I should stay at home and do more drawings and more buildings and get another laser. But just keep going, really. People asking about more 15mm stuff all the time. The 28mm scale as well. Not so much the 20s sort of seems to have calmed down a bit from when I first started doing them, but certainly 15s and 28s and steampunk. Lots of demand. And the 6mm, of course.
Fantastic. Well, it's been great to chat to you all.
And to you too.
I hope you have a really good show.
Thank you.
And we'll catch up with you soon.
Absolutely. Look forward to it. Look forward to the next time. Thank you very much.
I've run into my fellow podcast host, Mr. Mike Whittaker. Hello, Mike.
Good morning, how are you?
I'm all right, mate. How are you doing?
Not so bad, it's mad here. As you may notice, well, you can't see on the podcast, of course, but we are pretty much 3 deep around the game.
Okay, and describe what you have constructed, young man.
Well, we have 18 feet of blue lino.
And that's the game?
That's the game. Well, no, not quite. There is a mock-up of a Lancaster cockpit at the far end. There is a 6 foot wide, quite deep model of the Myrna Dam at the near end with a couple of searchlights and some flat guns. And there is a Lancaster being moved down the lake. Basically, we plonk punters in the pilot's chair and they move in a very similar way to something like Formula Day, where you can speed up by one, slow down by one, move left, move right.
Right.
And the mission is to get to the right spot, drop the bomb, blow the dam, and win a distinguished flying cross.
Only Peterborough Wargames group.
Pretty much, yeah. And the nice thing about it, from a point of view of Salute, is it's a 10-minute game tops.
Yeah.
Which means that instead of people coming up and going, oh, I'd love to play your game, but it takes an hour and a half.
Yeah.
Which, given it takes you 6 hours to get around this show this year,
it's huge, isn't it?
It's massive. It's ridiculous. So basically, folks can sit down for 10 minutes, play a quick game, have a break, and move on.
Yeah. I ran into Hemi earlier. I said, is it me or is it bigger?
It's bigger. It's fundamentally it's about 1.5 times the size of last year.
Yeah.
Have you took out any insurance, Mike, on the risk of flooding if the back dam actually does get destroyed?
But tempting though it is.
Right.
It's searchlights courtesy of Stanley. They're little Stanley tripod mount torches painted Dunkelgelb.
Oh yeah. Oh, dearie me. Oh, so this is what you haven't been painting Shermans the past few weeks.
Strangely enough, yes. Yeah, we've been busy building this monstrosity.
Superb. Well, it looks fantastic, Mike. When you next come on, you'll have to give us a full report.
Yeah, we basically haven't stopped since the doors opened.
I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised.
It's the biggest table I've ever seen with little on it.
Yeah. I mean, literally, it is. I wasn't kidding. It is an 18-foot piece of 6-foot wide lino.
Yes, with
two puffs of flak and a Lancaster.
So how does your wife feel about taking up the kitchen floor?
Oh, she's not happy.
And I even hear you've got the correct stodging mechanism. You've accommodated the coat hanger.
If we were to wander up the far end, there is a little plywood triangle with some nails in it. Since the pilot doesn't move, we move the nails instead. They're held on with a little bit of magnet.
Yeah.
But as you can see, people are having a whale of a time. We've also got a little display table with some for memorabilia. There's some little mini Corgi Lanks, a map, and there's actually 5 pieces of a genuine Lancaster.
Oh, what?
Which is quite the most terrifying thing when you realise that all that's between you and the German flak is 2 mil of aluminium.
That's a bit scary, isn't it?
Very.
Yeah. So it's a what, 1/72nd scale length?
It's standard FX Dambusters length.
Okay. And we've even got sound effects.
Oh yeah, did I mention the sound effects? There's a little sample player with snippets from the movie playing through a little guitar amp.
Oh, that's what that thing on your
Yes.
on your blog about salute prep the other
Yes.
night the other day
Yes.
was about. Right. Okay. Oh, superb. Well, it looks great, Mike. It really does.
We're having a whale of a time. I think the kids are enjoying it as well. In fact, the grown-ups are enjoying it. You will notice we have quite a few people here wearing distinguished flying colours. If so, we'll turn around. DFC. See? Look, DFC.
Superb.
I just took the flag, go straight through the middle, just take it.
Yeah, he got one for bravery mostly. He went, I don't care about the flak. Mission!
Bomb the dam down in flames. Is that right?
Yes.
Complete the mission, that's what matters.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, right. Well, have a good day. It looks
You
like
too,
Mike. Have
mate.
a good day, and
We shall.
I'll catch up with you soon.
Cheers.
I'm with Dave from Hawk Wargames. Welcome, Dave, and Andy Chambers. Hello, Andy.
Hello there.
How's salute for you both?
Crazy, mad, as normal. You know, I finished building the strike carrier, the Avenger, at 2 minutes to 10 this morning. I had an hour's sleep last night, 3 hours the night before that. It's been like that. Every salute has been like that for me so far, and they probably always will. I promised myself I'd get some sleep before this one, and I did. So it's
An hour. A whole hour.
A whole hour. Yeah.
Well,
it counts for a lot.
Well, if you may remember last year we saw half a strike carrier.
Yep.
Because we had half of it was still in plasticard. This year is in its resplendent full glory, is it not?
Yeah, it is all finished, all lit. The engines are lit. All the parts are on there. It's fully painted. It's finished effectively.
It's absolutely superb. I hope you get to see some pictures. I hate to think how many hours of work has gone into that.
It's about between 1,000 and 1,200 is my estimate.
Okay, and how many bits?
6,000.
6,000 bits.
Yeah, all and of those, probably about 3,500, 4,000 of them are plastic for all the condors and the tanks.
Yeah.
And the other 2,000 or 3,000 are all custom resin that were created especially for the strike carrier.
Right.
It's a mad project.
Okay. So,
Madness.
so I was going to say, so at what point did you think this was a good idea?
I think it was like, because Salute 1 we came here with all the new minis for Drop Zone that no one had seen, and you know the second one we had the big 20-foot long battle scene above the stand, which was awesome but risky, and we'll never do that again because we had it suspended above Help for Heroes, which was really quite scary. So after that I was, well, what do we do next time? And I thought, well, let's do a dropship for dropships, a strike carrier. This was before I knew I wanted to do a space combat game at some point, but this was long before that. This started kind of gestating in my head.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, when we first started talking about doing a spaceship game, the first thing you said was like, I'm going to do this massive dropship.
Yeah.
Dropship carrier, I should say.
Yeah.
It was strike carrier.
It's a little bit of...
What you were thinking, maybe we're looking a little big scale here.
And if I'm honest, it was a little bit of a self-indulgent project. I really wanted to do it, so I did it.
Let's face it, you're not going to get many of those on the 6x4 table, are you?
No, not really, no. I mean, you could do it in the salute hall with all your spaceships on trolleys or something, but I'm not building another. Never again. Never again. Truly.
Okay, so you're hinting at a spaceship game, and
more than hinting. So we've written the rule set. Well, Andy's written the rule set.
Okay. Yeah, we've been working on. I mean, I got in touch with the guys from Hawk a few years back now, wasn't it? Basically, because I really like Drop Zone Commander and I like the miniatures that were coming out for it. I was like, oh, hey guys, I love your miniatures. Is there anything I can do working with you? And they said, as it happens, Andy Chambers, we like Battlefleet Gothic and we want to do a spaceship game. So we started chiseling away from there, really, and we're hoping to have it out and about for the end of this year, early next year maybe. And we've been kicking the rules around for a few years now.
Oh, right, okay.
Which is about the right amount of gestation, I think.
Yeah.
You know, you need at least a year, in my opinion, to work through a rule set. And it's looking good. It's looking good. We've been having a lot of fun with it.
Okay. So what sort of scale are we looking at?
We have here, for the first time, we have miniatures. No one's seen any miniatures for the spaceship game before, and they're in there. So the Avenger, the strike carrier, is a frigate-sized ship.
Yeah.
Not very big, about 6 centimetres long. Cruisers are kind of just under double that. Battleship is about 13, 14 centimetres long. That's how large the minis are.
Yeah.
In terms of your fleet, tournament size list might have, say, 8 to 12 frigates, maybe sort of 4 to 6, 8 cruisers and 1 or 2 battleships, something like that. We're yet to kind of fully nail down the points and the ideal size for a game in terms of game length, because really you want to get a tournament game done in a couple of hours. So,
but at the same time, a meaty enough fleet to kind of get your teeth into.
It's a fleet-sized game. You don't need huge numbers of minis, but it's not a 1 or 2 ship kind of game.
Yeah, we've been making quite fast play, as Dave's saying, so that it works well for tournament play, but it also means that, you can scale up to have very, very large battles without it taking days.
You can do that for sure.
Yeah.
The big there's a few key things about the space combat game. I'm calling it Drop Fleet. Everyone's calling it Drop Fleet. It probably will end up being.
You just need to accept it's called Drop Fleet.
Accept that it's called Drop Fleet at this point.
It's not the sexiest name, though, is it?
The key, it's people. It's growing on people. I mean, if I get a light bulb moment and come up with something else, but we'll see. But the key thing about it is that it's an orbital combat game, not a deep space combat game.
Okay.
So the rule set is designed from the ground up for orbital-based combat. So your battlefield is a piece of planet rather than a black star field. You've got cities down there, and you're dropping your troops onto cities, orbital bombardment against cities, troops on the ground, that kind of thing.
Oh, right.
So you're this very dynamic with the scenery, like Drop Zone is really, in terms of you relate to the board quite a lot.
Right. Okay, so as well as the spaceships, are you going to be having model scenery related to it as well, and for objectives and what have you? Yeah,
that kind of thing.
Right, okay.
Tokens and resin relief things. Cities are a prime example. You can do cities with a token or a nice little relief city, depending on how you want to do things.
Yeah, plus all the orbital stuff as well, orbital platforms and things like that, space stations.
Because you're always in orbit, there's actually a reason to take space stations, and you can cost them in points, and they actually can be part of a tournament scene, which they can't be a lot of the time because you're not always in orbit, if that makes sense.
Yeah, and of course I suppose it becomes an immediate precursor for a Drop Zone Commander campaign system, because you've got the orbital battle to begin with, followed by the ground assault.
Yeah, it's just got a natural narrative flow to it that's a great thing to be working with, because Drop Zone Commander being so closely aligned around that whole idea of dropping onto planets, it's just great to be able to integrate it onto a new level as well.
Okay.
So that's one of the primary things about the game. One of the things that makes it different to the other spaceship games that are around is that this is orbital combat. It's about dropping ships.
Right.
There's a lot of new innovative mechanics in there as well. Shooting's really cool. Annie can talk about shooting. It's his baby.
Well, as I mentioned earlier on, Battlefleet Gothic, when I did it, was very space battle of Jutland. Yeah, it was very World War I, cruising around, throwing shells at each other. What I wanted for this game was to have something that was a bit more modern feeling.
Yeah.
And it's kind of back in the day playing games like Harpoon and stuff like that coming back to my head. So there's a lot more about sensing and scanning, working out ranges to things. Ranges aren't set within the game.
Yeah.
It depends on their signature and your scan rating as to whether or not you'll be able to pick out the ship. If you can see it, you can hit it.
Yeah.
But whether you can see it or not is a variable. And
so you automatically include countermeasures and everything all as part of that mechanic. Oh, okay.
And if ships are very active and they're doing a lot, firing their guns and so forth, their signature goes up, they become more easy to spot.
Yeah.
So
that's really cool.
Yeah, and you can also do silent running as well, so you can be sneaky and...
Yes, you can shut it all down so your signature drops away to nothing, so you can sneak up on people and stuff like that as well. So it's a very interesting set of dynamics that you've got coming into the game, but it's all handled just through stats. There aren't special rules or dice rolls that are made for all this. It's just done through the stat use.
Yeah.
So it's not going to slow down gameplay either. So I've got great hopes for that overall. I'm very pleased with the way that's turning out.
So what size board is it designed to be played on? Is it standard 6x4? Is it
4x4?
4x4 base. I mean, obviously you can expand out from there, but I think one of the key things these days is to make sure it'll work on a 4x4 because so many stores and stuff, that's what they have to play on. So that's been our primary Battlefield focus is 4x4.
And as far as the spaceship, I mean, they're cool-looking spaceships. Are they? I know you, as far as Drop Zone Commander is concerned, you've been pushing an awful lot on plastics. Are these only plastic, or are they going to be resin? A bit of a mixture?
Probably a bit of a mixture, because certain things you can do in one, not the other. Certain things better suited to, especially specialist ships, more in resin, that kind of thing. We're kind of still fermenting on that one. It depends on what the designs end up like, because they're not all designed at the moment. These UCM ones are the first ones I've finished completely.
Right.
They arrived in our studio last night, so painted last night.
So I was going to say, so did they arrive painted or unpainted?
No. They arrived painted last night. Yeah. So I've only had like 10 minutes to sort of glance over them so far.
Yeah.
But I'm really happy with the way they've turned out. And the things like the UCM battleship, that's the most complex piece I've ever done in terms of number of features, and it's just crazy that it took me like a week just to do the central hull for the UCM battleship, but the detail level is mad. Is a little bit further than we've gone with Drop Zone even.
Yeah.
It feels right for the scale, and it adds to an epic flavour to the miniatures. It's really it's a thing, and I'm trying to focus on making each kind of variety of ship class look different rather than have the same design
just
made bigger or smaller. That's
this one's got 2 hulls, but they're identical.
Cruisers, frigates, battleships for the UCM have a very different hull shape.
Yeah,
they belong to the same fleet, but they don't look the same. That means it's always more work to do it that way, and it always takes me longer. But I'm happy with the results in the end, and that's what matters really at the end of the day, not how much sleep I get.
So, as far as Drop Zone Commander is concerned, obviously last year the big thing was the Resistance, which has since been launched. What else have you got coming out?
There's a lot of stuff planned for this year. There'll be another book later on in the year, Reconquest Phase 2. We haven't announced a release date for it, but it's coming. That's obviously a follow-on from Phase 1.
Yeah.
There's a lot of new miniatures for all the factions coming out. We've got some new infantry codes in the works that we're showing off here. 3 new ones for each faction. We're not showing them all off here, but a few of them.
Yeah.
Some of them are kind of big for infantry and actually fight in the open. Right. They can't go into buildings. But some of them do. They all fulfill tactical niches that players might want to choose in their army. Mm-hmm. So it's how we look at things and make sure each new release doesn't replace an old one, but offers you new options.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of exciting stuff there. We've got a few other projects in the pipeline for Drop Zone that I can't talk about yet, because we're yet to sort of finalise them.
Yeah.
But expect to see a lot more from Drop Zone this year. I mean, that's part of the reason for Spaceship's taking me a while to get into, is because I'm always keeping up with Drop Zone as well. Because Drop Zone is our baby. And
yes.
We have to make the two of them as good as each other, and that just takes time. That's all it comes down to, really.
Yeah. Well, I'd say, especially with the rules for drop fleet, if you're being developed for so long. So as far as going back to drop fleet for a minute, so is the plan for that to be released separately, have a starter box like you now have for Drop Zone, or?
Yeah, 2-player starter box. I like 2-player starter sets. I think they're great for getting new players into games.
Yeah.
Even potentially new people into wargaming. 2 players are good for that. They also kind of set you out nicely, so we do want to definitely do those. Fleet starter box is a very similar kind of setup for Drop Zone. It works very nicely for us with Drop Zone, and we're going to do the same thing.
Right.
Then obviously blisters and boxes for other ships and things like that.
Fantastic. Well, ships are looking great. Rules sound really interesting. Looking forward to hearing a lot more about the mechanics and stuff. If we can get together at another point, that would be great. I mean, I know it's a bit of a manic day to turn around and go, can you please explain all these rule mechanics to me?
No, it's cool. This is what I'm here for today.
We're sort of here. We're kind of here verbally spilling the beans on the rules for Drop Fleet, because there's been a lot of speculation. I kind of want to put some of that speculation to bed and kind of put it on a level of what we're aiming for here and what it's like now. 1 or 2 things may change, obviously, but I'd say the rule set is 85-90% of the way there. Most of the work now is in stat lines.
Yeah.
Really, is in
balancing the scenarios and the stat lines is really what we're doing, and the core mechanics are there.
Yeah,
Okay.
playtest. That's it really.
Okay, so again, is it going to be like Drop Zone? Is it going to be very much scenario driven?
Yeah. Big strong hand in that. Simon's been helping out on the scenarios, who of course has got a big hand in the ones in Drop Zone Commander as well.
Yeah.
And we really want that sort of like, you're not just fighting to beat each other, but to achieve specific objectives. I mean, and particularly in the context of being able to fight on the planet's surface as well.
Yeah.
Yes, very strongly scenario driven. You know, again, you can have a fight if you want, but I like the way that in Drop Zone Commander the scenarios actually mean that you can have far more diverse forces.
Yeah.
You know, we're fast but incredibly fragile, but that's okay because we're doing scenarios where being fast counts for a lot. You know, that kind of thing. I think it's a powerful element of Drop Zone Commander I want to see brought through to Drop Fleet as well.
Yeah.
So every different racial fleet has got its pros and its cons, basically.
Yeah. Okay, and so as talked about potential for a campaign system, I mean, is that going to be something that's going to be built into Drop Fleet, or is that something that's going to be coming separately?
It will be built in. The extent to which we build it in is still under debate. It's mainly a case of practicalities, really.
Yeah.
There's always got to be some abstraction there. I'm always straight up in saying this, in that one strike carrier holds 100 dropships, mediums, 6 heavies. You know, you might have 8 of those in your fleet with like many thousands of tanks. So to tie the two together in a literal sense is quite difficult.
Yeah, you're going to need a heck of an army, aren't you? If you
the way we'll be doing it is the ground game will be reflecting the most strategically crucial element of a larger battle.
Yeah.
That's generally the way to do it. But yeah, there'll be an official link between the two. Or at least a guide for players, you know, depending on how we choose to finally do it.
Yes.
But there will be something official there for that.
Yeah, because we want really strong bonds between Drop Zone Commander and Drop Fleet, clearly.
Yeah.
You know, that they are complementary games for one another.
Yeah, definitely.
Right, good stuff. Well, thank you for your time, gentlemen. I hope you have a really good day.
Thank you.
And thanks for talking to us.
Awesome.
No problem at all.
Thank you. Well, we caught up with Will Townsend from the Plastic Soldier Company. Hi, Will.
Hello.
How's it going?
I'll be glad when it's Sunday. Sofa day on Sunday. No, brilliant. Great show as ever. Lots of people buying, lots of people chatting, seeing all the great and good, or great and bad. It's a great day.
Well, first off, congratulations on Great War Kickstarter.
Thank you.
Good to see it was funded, and
yes, brilliant.
Looking forward to it. Are we still on schedule?
Yes, we are. As I said all the way along, having studied previous Kickstarter campaigns, and one of the problems being lateness. You know, it's especially you have a very good Kickstarter, does very well. Lots and lots of stretch goals, and that produces its own problem of getting them all done. And
you get scale creep and
slip. So really tried hard. It's our first Kickstarter, our first board game. Really wanted to make this special and heeding, previous issues and problems with other Kickstarters. So, look, long answer short here. Yes, we're on target. The target was always June shipping.
Yeah.
So we're, as touch wood, on target for that June shipping.
Fantastic.
Maybe even a little bit before June. We're going to Games Expo at the end of May, and we'll be showing and telling, demoing, we're pushing hard to have all those stretch goals done before then.
Fantastic.
So we might be releasing at Games Expo. Bit of a scoop there for you.
Fantastic. So I'm going there. Extra incentive to go to the expo this year. Fantastic stuff. And of course, outside of the Great War, more new releases that you can shake a stick at.
Yes.
And I mean, you've been picking up. There's obviously all the new 28mm stuff that you're now stocking.
Yeah.
And then we've got 3 new 15mm, which was standing right next to some wonderfully new looking Panzer Grenadiers.
Yep.
And 250 half tracks and what have you.
Yep.
So how's? I suppose it's just a case of it just keeps rolling on. I mean, your release schedule just seems to keep growing.
Oh yes. I think the more we do, the faster we get.
Yeah.
We have more tools that we can pump out. You'll see a constant stream of World War II stuff, and we're hoping that there'll be more board games coming out. There'll be obviously, the various booster packs for the Great War.
Yeah.
And there's other board game projects that are bubbling along quite nicely. So the aim is to not take away from the core business of World War II kits, 15mm, 20mm kits.
Yeah.
That's us, yeah. But we do want to be producing more board games and possibly other periods and scales. We've always talked about moving away a little bit, broadening, and that's ongoing. So towards the end of the year, you'll be seeing some more interesting new projects. A bit of moving away again from World War II. I think there's some other very interesting things that need to be explored.
Yeah.
Shall we say?
Well, so you've been hinting at this for a couple of years, haven't you? Kind of go, so you've had stuff kind of bubbling under. So
I don't think anyone saw the World War I board game. Until I went, there it is.
Yeah.
So yes, there's a few things that we've been working on. Some slower, some faster than others.
Yeah. Oh, of course, the one thing I haven't mentioned yet, the new Battle Group Blitzkrieg.
Yes. Launch today. Very proud of it. We delayed it from last autumn.
Yeah.
Because we wanted more play testing. There were some nuances that didn't feel right, and I know early war is a particularly interesting and underplayed part of World War II, and I think more people should be playing it. And I think Flames of War missed a chance with their early war stuff, underplay tested. You had to put in the hard mile there. So we decided that we'd make sure that we put it the best it could be. And I don't claim it's going to be the best thing ever, but we're pretty pleased with it.
Yeah. Okay, so that's that today. So what's up next? Are we approaching your beloved Desert War yet?
Oh yes. We've just started working on that. And I can't tell you how excited I am about that. You'll see more and more releases over the next 12 month because it'll be this time next year we're planning to release.
Oh, fantastic!
You'll see the first off the line, first cab off the rank, a nice little 15mm A9 A10 British cruiser set, which I'm so looking forward to personally. That'll then be into 20mm straight after. And then you'll see a good seasoning of early war desert themed kits over the next 12 months.
Oh, fantastic stuff!
That means we've got to build a sand table now, Neil.
Yeah, at least we'd have to spend years on building terrain.
You can do the hoovering every night after we're finished.
Fantastic. Well, I love the new kits. I like especially like the early war heavy weapons. How you got a lovely mix now with with the infantry gun in there and the 37mm in there. It makes it a really good mix, and there's rather than just mortars or what have you.
It's nice to see a flamethrower in there, which is always sometimes a bit difficult to pick up.
Yeah, we tried to cover it all in one box. It's all you need. Hence, it's a larger frame than our normal heavy weapons frames. But I'm pleased now that the early war Germans are covered. But we just need a few more sort of early war soft skins. A friend of mine who will remain nameless is nagging me incessantly for some nice German armoured car sets. And a Schwimmwagen somewhere. I think we need.
I mean, come on! You've done the 250. You need to complete the job with the recon units.
Yes. So I think we might be seeing some recon soon. Yeah.
Excellent stuff. And again, now you obviously you started with the British. You've changed the sculpting on the infantry slightly, so they're probably a little bit more proportioned the way people are used to seeing, as opposed to plastic figures with proper proportions. How is that changing? How is that kind of changing look being greeted? I mean, I suppose some people like it, some people don't.
That's a leading question Your Honour. It's been received very well. It was a bit of a punt, I suppose, to change the style and go to the one piece and to that more stylised look. But I'm pleased that we've done it.
Yeah.
I think it's what the 15mm market wanted.
Yeah.
You're not going to please everyone, and funnily enough, frankly speaking, I like my old, slimmer, proportioned figures personally. But commercially, this new style is what was asked for by the market. So we heed our customers.
Give them what they want.
Give them what they want. Yes, indeed.
Brilliant. Well, thank you for spending the time. I know you're really busy.
Thank you, Neil. Cheers.
It's been great to
Pleasure.
and might catch up with you at the UK Games Expo.
Yep.
Looking forward to seeing Great War.
Brilliant.
And all the very
Thank
best
you.
for the show, mate.
Thank you very much. Cheers, Neil.
Thank you.
Well, me and Dave are at the Plastic Soldier Company stand, having just spoken to Will, and we managed to have a look at the sprues for the brand new German Normandy Panzer Grenadiers. So I have a quick sneak peek to have a look at what's in the box.
Live from the show, hot off the press.
So Dave's got the command sprue in front of him. I've got the I've got the infantry sprue.
Well, we've got the Panzerschreck. We've got Panzerschreck man, kneeling position. We've got a Panzerfaust. We've got a chap that looks like he's got headphones on and looks like he's operating some sort of radio. Could be used for forward observation post.
Yeah, we've also got one guy observing with binoculars.
Ah, well spotted. Didn't see him, Neil. Upside down he was.
Couple of different officer types with pistols.
Got a chap with removable arms and some Panzerfausts.
Yeah,
separate.
Yeah.
So what's going on there?
I'm not sure. I mean that guy's the loader for the Panzerschreck.
Yeah.
Very similar in pose to on the late war German infantry.
We've got three NCOs on that sprue.
Yeah, three guys with MP40s, and so on that sprue, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 11 figures on that sprue. Nice selection. You get 3 of those sprues in the box, and then on the infantry, I think you get 7 sprues of these. So this is so very similar makeup to the old British infantry.
MG42.
You've got MG42 being carried, MG42
standing up.
All right, so obviously with Panzer Grenadiers, you've got 2 MG42s in the squad. So actually, on here you've got a full squad on there, mate.
And you got a chap carrying some boxes of ammunition here as well, one in each hand.
Yeah, you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 riflemen.
2 in shooting poses. The rest are advancing in various forms of rifle position, I suppose.
Yeah, and 2 MG42s, 1 carrying and 1 prone, both with loaders. So, really good mix. So, the total box we're looking at 141 figures. Okay, so more than enough for standard Panzer Grenadier Company. If you've read my column in the last Miniature War Games, you know that having put together using his normal late war infantry, I had some issues. Looking at these now, yeah, these are looking a lot better. I know some people don't like the thicker models, but these look an awful lot better. The looks are fitting a lot better with things like Forged in Battle and Flames of War, what have you. So yeah, really nice set of infantry.
Will's just told us they're short. They haven't got many at the moment, so if you want some,
yeah,
looks like they're getting quick.
Get in quick.
They are pretty.
Yeah, they are pretty. They're all in Zeltbon, so they're. Most of them are wearing the camo smock as opposed to the smock top. We've got the odd 1 or 2 with just straight uniforms, but most of them in smocks with Zeltbon over the top. Really nice set. Well worth a look.
Well, The chap there with the machine gun, he's got a belt around his neck. I didn't notice that on the original.
Yeah, cool. Nice set. It's a convention of podcasters. Mr. Hobbs, hello.
Oh, hello.
So,
Is it being recorded?
yeah, the clock's running, mate.
I better not say.
You know what? I'm going to have to pig and edit this now.
You're
Yes.
going to have to bleep it. Can't we just bleep it? Can't we bleep it?
Yeah, I think bleep it might
Can't we
be
have to
fun.
look at Peter Pig oink?
Hi there.
Hello, mate. How you doing?
I'm having a great time.
You look shorter though.
Okay, you really do. You look knackered, mate.
I'm knackered.
You've been on the sauce last night.
I'm sorry, we can't publish this. So what, shall I just turn this off?
No, we can leave it on.
You can put the sauce on, can't you, surely? It's not that bad.
I may have had a couple of drinks. But I was in bed by 11:30.
Well, there you go, quite early then.
That's impressive in itself. That's impressive.
We did start at 6.
What, setting the stall up?
Yeah. No.
No, the drinking.
Oh, right, okay.
Yeah.
No, setting the stall up started earlier in the day. Yeah.
Yeah.
So how's it going? You're you're here working, aren't you?
I am working, and it's manic. Unfortunately, one of the guys who was going to be demoing the Reverence for us, couldn't make it because he's ill. So I'm.
So you've had to step into the breach, have you?
I'm currently demoing Juggler Saga, running the games, and talking to.
Is that all?
Yeah. I'm trying to cover four tables.
All right. So you're demoing Juggler with your left hand, while demoing Saga with your right.
Indeed, yeah. I'm trying to remember 2 sets of rules. But yeah, it's good. Have you been around?
Yeah, I'll say. What do you think of the show?
The 4 foot of it I've seen, I'm really impressed by.
Just get a little bit like that, doesn't it?
Yeah. No, it's great. I popped over and saw the Spartan guys earlier. So we need to chat about that later.
Okay.
So the 4
I managed to get an interview with Derek.
Yes. I spoke to Derek this morning.
Yeah.
He's going to come on the show.
He is.
Yeah.
He is, and looking forward to that. And
I managed to get the last spray can from the Plastic Soldier Company in salute in the British Armour.
I got loads on the house if you want some.
Oh, now he says.
I'll post it to you. It's been great. It's a really good event. Have you seen Simon Miller yet?
I haven't. I've got to get over there. Is he over that end?
He's just over there somewhere.
Oh, just over there. Right, okay.
I saw him yesterday.
I am looking for him.
His rules look lovely. He gave me my copies yesterday.
Yes, he has bribed me to say, "Come over here. I've got a book for you."
Very nice. It looks really good.
Yeah.
So.
Well. The hope is to lead Mr. Love over there gently by the throat, and say, "Here, play this game because it's really good, honest."
It is very good, and he can use the figures that he already has.
Indeed. He's not listening to us. He's ignoring us completely.
What are you trying to do? You trying to get me to play sci-fi, guys?
No. Ancients.
Oh, the other Ancients game. Yeah, I'm up for that one. Yeah, I heard about it.
Yeah. So
all is good.
All is good. Yeah. As I say, I mean, we were saying to Dave earlier. It seems bigger.
Yeah, it feels bigger. It's definitely busier.
It's busier, but I mean, having said that as well, there's a lot more room.
Is it official? Is this the line in the sand for the end of the recession? Because wargamers are spending money. It's like a bellwether of the economy.
Wargamers always spend money.
Yeah, but they just spend more, don't they? When it's better.
It's looking good. Yeah. And so have you bought? So other than your copy of Sword and Spear, not Sword and Spear, of the 10 Strongest Rules, have you bought much?
I bought a coffee.
Well, just the one?
Just the one.
Looks like you need 2, to be honest.
I need a few more. I need some more water. No, I bought nothing.
I'm impressed.
Yeah, there's nothing I really want at the moment. I'm being good.
Hang on. Yeah, you heard it here first. Mike is not buying anything at Salute.
Yeah,
that's normally the preserve of me.
Mind you, having said that, that's not to say, I mean, how much stuff have you bought in the last, few weeks?
So how's your salute been?
Actually, I'll tell a lie. I picked Neil up at 7:15 this morning and bought some stuff straight away on Salute Day. I was picking Neil up.
Was it a pasty?
No, I was buying it off Neil.
Oh, yeah.
Bought some tanks off him.
Oh, there we go. Yeah, well, I needed to spend any money. Yeah, what can I say? Well, yeah. What have I bought? I bought some dead cows.
Excellent.
Bought some live sheep. I have some signposts.
We have a complaint about Peter Pig. Peter Pigs sell dead cows and live sheep, but they don't sell live cows and dead sheep. What can you do?
I think it's because cows are slower moving and more prone to artillery attacks.
But other than that, actually not a fantastic amount at the moment. Just busy looking.
Pots of Vallejo paint. I just bought.
And I'm picking up a time. I'm picking up a church from Timecast, thanks to Mr. Deacon. So, if you're listening, thank you very much for showing off your lovely landmark church, and it's your fault I'm buying one. So, but other than that, it's more of a case of just look around and kind of going, oh, that's nice. Oh,
There's
that's
some great
nice.
games. Have you spoken to Warwick over there?
Not quite yet. We stood beside him for 5 minutes. He ignored me.
Does he know who you are?
Warwick, yeah, I spoke to him before.
Oh, right, yeah.
Yeah, I know Warwick.
I had a chat with him yesterday.
Yeah. I've got a copy of Blitzkrieg.
Cool.
To have a look at. It looks lovely. Just look really. We started looking at it. Just look really nice.
More armies to buy. Right,
That's it.
I've got to go. I've got to go back to work.
Okay, then, mate. Well, have a good one.
Back to the supervision of rolling dice.
Talking to people. I've now got into a pat. My 10-minute juggler demo is down to pat.
Super. Well, have a good rest of the day, mate. I'll catch you later. Well, pleased to catch up with Simon Miller.
Hello.
Hello. You may recognise Simon Miller was recently on the show, talk about his To the Strongest rules, and here we see them in resplendent hard copy.
Yes, it's been a bit of the last couple of months have been a very busy couple of months. We've got the last week we put out the version 1.1, the enhanced version of the E version. Which is all looking rather splendid now, courtesy of a makeover from my friend Millsy in Australia.
It does look really nice.
It looks a lot more professional, and we've added a lot more examples and diagrams to make it more user friendly. Mm-hmm. And today or yesterday at 1 o'clock, just in time, the hard copy versions arrived.
That's what you call cutting it a bit fine.
It's been a very scary couple of weeks because happily, partly courtesy of Meeples, there's been a lot of interest in them, and I've already pre-sold a lot of copies. So
fantastic.
I was a bit nervous that the people I promised copies to collect today wouldn't be able to get their hands on them. Happily they've got their mitts on them, and they're selling well. It's all going along quite splendidly.
Fantastic.
But, yeah, it's been a great day as well. I've met lots of people playing the game.
Yeah, we've got Cremona, which is looking absolutely gorgeous in 28mm, and fantastic.
I would like to point out down the table there's a 9-year-old and a 10-year-old playing, who both have a really good grasp of the rules, and I know they have a really good grasp of the rules because they're veterans who played at a previous wargames show.
Oh, right.
And they came here to seek me out. They were hunting me down so they could play again today.
And here's people going, historical wargaming is not attracting a new generation.
Well, I'm happy that they brought the average age around the table down by about 2 or 3 years, I think. No, they're really lovely kids. I've played quite a lot with kids. It is potentially a sort of father-son crossover set because it's not too hard. I didn't want to write a set that was really hard.
Yeah.
It really is. I'm really chuffed, actually. I think that's all the things today. The most chuffed is that they came here and tracked me down. And I've met lots of friends today. It's a great atmosphere here. Yesterday I came in when I was setting the game. I thought it was all very cold and clinical, but once you bung a couple of thousand people in here, it's fine. It's actually fine.
And there's, as I say, it's. I think it's a bit bigger this year. There's plenty of space, so it doesn't feel cramped. So you actually got a lot of room around the table and what have you. It's actually got a nice feel to it this year.
The show's got a nice feel to it. I mean, it is really great that there are so many friends now from the hobby here that you meet. I mean, I meet a lot of them during the course of the year, but I've seen people I've not seen for a year or two today, and it's been lovely catching up with people. So fantastic.
Great stuff. Great stuff. So, we now got the 1.1 version in print of See the Strongest.
It's in print, and everyone that's previously bought the digital version should now have an update that I've emailed out to everybody. Right. If anybody did buy it and didn't get it, then drop me a line, but everyone should have it. The new version in the book is looking rather splendidly purple. It's great. It's great actually having my name on a book. I feel like a proper author. Proper author now, and I'm looking at what to do next. And I've got a show I'm doing a gig at the Wargames Holiday Centre in about 3 weeks. Yeah. Where I'm taking 5 ancient games down there. It'll be run over the 2-day period, and that's always great fun. Mm-hmm. Then I'm coming to Partisan, both Partisans, hopefully this year, and I'm going to try and get around a bit more. Actually, I might do. I was talking to Wargames Illustrated about doing a day up there at the weekend, which would be great fun. You know, about a dozen players playing 3 games over the course of the day. Yeah. Bring your own armour or loan the one. I think that could be a fun thing to do. So hopefully in the autumn.
Yeah. Now I know on the podcast we talked about future development for the actual game mechanics themselves. Yes. Have you even had chance to have a think about that?
Yeah, I've been thinking about it, and I've currently got a few suspects. First option is a fantasy version of it, because I have a background in fantasy gaming and I know that very well, and I know the mechanics will transfer excellently to fantasy. I'm also thinking possibly about a Renaissance version. Oh, right, yeah. Because that would logically follow on chronologically from the end of the medieval period. Yeah. And people have also been asking about campaign rules for it. And I already have written some. I have some ideas for campaign rules. I've written out a draft of those, using a lot of the same mechanics, card-driven. Yeah. Even the map is generated using playing cards. So that's something. That's also something I'm thinking of, and I need to really decide. I've probably got about a month to decide which I'm going with next. At the moment, I think fantasy is probably shaving it because I can get straight into writing the fantasy rules.
And immediately that gives a really good crossover with a completely different audience, doesn't it?
It does, yeah. I'd be able to reach out to the younger crowd with that. I mean, I got into ancient gaming through fantasy gaming. Yeah. And I guess a lot of people that would play a fantasy set of rules would then go on to do ancient gaming as well. So. One of the things I would really like to do is boost the ancient hobby. Yeah. I mean, we're talking about the growing hobby, and it's great to have some kids playing today, but I'd love to see lots of kids playing it, or lots of teenagers. Yeah. So watch this space. Well, I've got about a month to think about it. Yeah. Then I'll probably take about a year to develop it to a point where I can publish it as a PDF. Yeah. And then probably roll it out as a book 6 months later. Right.
Okay, but that's what I'm thinking about. Okay, that sounds really cool.
Vaporware, I suppose, at the moment, but we'll see.
Well, yeah. I mean, I was just saying, talking to other guys, saying, it actually takes quite some time to actually get all this developed, to the correct level, and 18 months, 2 years plus, as far as development and playtesting is.
The good thing is with this set, I actually have all the core mechanics are there, and a lot of the troop types. Yeah. So it would be a question of editing out some of the troop types and introducing new rules for magic. Yes. And I know kind of how the magic could work. So it would actually be a much easier task to write a fantasy version than it was to write this version.
Yeah. I mean, I suppose the classic it's magic, monsters and flyers, isn't it? That's the.
Yes, absolutely. Magic, monsters and flyers. You've got to deal with the big monsters. You've got to have the magic, and you've got to have the flyers. And that really succinctly sums up the gap. Yeah. I kind of need to strip a little bit back. I was thinking, do you need legionaries in a fantasy set? You've got the option of leaving something like legionaries in, because I mean they do crop up in some mythos. Yeah. But do you want to kind of reduce the number of troop types again, so you can then accommodate the different new troop types like flyers and dragons and giants and whatever? Yeah. I need to edit back a little bit. I think, so that I can then move forward. But it would be a relatively easy labour of love, I would think, writing a fantasy version.
Yeah, sounds great. Well, Simon, the new book looks really nice. Thank you so much for spending some time for us. It's good to see that you've got loads of people around the table. I wish you all the best with the new printed rules, and hopefully we'll catch up with you soon.
Well, thank you very much, and I'm sure we will.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Well, I'm here with Spartan Games and Derek Sinclair, the man who we haven't had a chance to get to speak to yet. Derek, great to meet you. And we're at the Halo Fleet Battles table. You have an assault carrier. You never told us you had an assault carrier.
Actually, I have 2 assault carriers. Yes, well, basically what we've done here is we've set up 2 tables. One table is the table where I chat to people about the games, and then the other table is the table where people actually are playing the contents of the starter set.
Right.
I just wanted the table with the 2 carriers on it because I want them. They are fabulous. They're absolutely enormous.
They look fantastic. Obviously, this is the podcast, so it's difficult for people to see, and obviously we'll put pictures on. But please describe them for us. I mean, how long are they?
Oh, right. Well, the carriers are 10 inches in length.
10 inches. Oh, and they are absolutely stunning.
It's fabulous. Obviously people won't be able to see, but there are. If you look underneath, there's actually the city is underneath the carrot as well and on the top.
Oh, it's a stunning model. It is.
It's absolutely wonderful.
And that, of course, is fully playable within the game.
Absolutely. It's a very, very big piece.
Yeah.
But it has purpose. What we do is we split the model into 3 sections to allow people to specifically target the fore, the midships, or the aft section, and then various different mechanics involved should you destroy those. They're not destroyed because we can't take the model off, so we wreck it, and then that has knock-on effects to the other parts of the ship and causes damage later on.
Okay, so now on the podcast, we've spoken to Neil, and Neil's been very gushing about the whole concept behind grabbing Halo, what have you. We've never actually got a chance to talk about rules mechanics because Neil always says, "Oh, you need to speak to Derek."
Yes, well, I'll catch that buck, shall I? And well, the game uses a number of unusual different changes. We've built in a principle of commanders, and these are essentially avatars that exist outside the tabletop, which have functions within it. So they allow you to manipulate the game as you play. Now these are essentially special characters that engage through gameplay. So you would roll dice in the start of the game, start of each game phase I should say, and then whatever you scored as a result would then allow you to execute some sexy orders, like being able to form into new battle groups, do more damage when you were firing, try and brace for impact when you knew an attack was coming in. And they're all conditional with what you roll that turn. So what you roll that turn may dictate how you choose to play that turn. So if you're playing as the UNSC and you roll lots of attack symbols, you might decide, well, now's the time to go for the throat. And like the hounds that you are, dive on the prey and try and tear them out. If you were as the Covenant and you rolled a lot of command dice, you might be looking at ways of trying to build your battle groups up after taking damage to coalesce them into even more powerful groups to deliver hits to the big capital ships that the UNSC are almost and certainly going to hit you with.
Yeah, because I mean, obviously, one concern when people first heard about Halo Fleet Battles was the fact of the appearance is it's such an asymmetric combat because an awful lot of the UNSC were pretty much outclassed by Covenant at this point in the war. How are you going to get a good game out of it?
There's absolutely no doubt, anybody who's read the background to Halo, that the Covenant do wield the wax stick through the macro effects of the war. The big effects is that they win. But what we've done here, by not having the special characters, the avatars on the table, we're essentially taking a snapshot of the game in play.
Right.
So whilst at the Battle of Reach, it's undoubtedly going to go badly for the UNSC, that's not to suggest that in the games that people play, that their UNSC fleet may not have executed some fantastic manoeuvres and held the Covenant back. They may have destroyed all the Covenant on the table and won a mighty victory, It is a Pyrrhic victory, of course, because there will be more Covenant.
Yeah.
And the inevitable effect is the macro effect of the game is that the Covenant will, of course, win. But Wargame is a micro engagement, so it's okay for the UNSC to win. So it allows us to make the statistics and the gameplay fair.
Yeah.
Of course, the UNSC, as you can see when you look at the tables, have considerably more
ships on the table, yes.
They do, and they don't last nearly as long as the Covenant do, which is only to be expected because obviously, you've got titanium armour up against fantastic ablative shielding and cloaking devices and all the other accoutrements that the Covenant are blessed with.
Yeah.
So with those in play, the UNSC need a lot of bums on seats because without them they'll never survive to engage.
Yeah, well, obviously, looking at the table, we can see we've got frigates, cruisers, we've got orbital defence lasers.
We do. We have my secret weapon, the Mac platforms. The Mac platforms are an absolute treasure to me. I love them. People won't be able to see, sadly, but if you guys take photographs later, the Mac platforms are actually designed so that you can pose them in two different ways.
Right.
You can pose them in the stereotypical manner that people will be expecting to see, which is a very strong vertical manner, but you can actually turn them so they're off aspect, as if they were tilted down, about to fire the mass accelerator cannon.
Oh, cool.
And each of the models is actually, you can pull it out and set it as you choose on the tabletop.
Oh, right, so it's a multi-pose model.
It's entirely posable. You can pull it out and set it up. Truth be told, there's no reason for you to do that, but every time I fire my Mac platforms, I feel compelled to make sure that they're definitely pointing at the target I'm about to kill.
Yeah.
And there's nothing more intimidating than someone pointing their Macs at you. It's a lot of dice, and they do a lot of damage.
Yeah. Okay, so it's a buckets of dice mechanic as far as combat is concerned.
Yes, it's not a one dice, one hit, one kill game. There's a lot of impact that needs to happen because we're essentially dealing with galleons in space. The ships turn on a very stately curve. It's done manually though. We don't use tokens or templates. You just simply make a rotation.
Yeah.
And it's 45-degree rotations allow you to rotate. And that means that the game flows very, very quickly. Ships move very, very quickly and get to games. But when it comes to rolling the dice, we don't actually use the standard D6.
Oh, right, so we're moving away from the old exploding dice mechanic.
It's still there, but the statistics are quite unusual the way that it works. We have a dice whereby if you roll it, you get 2 hits, and if the conditions permit, you can roll the dice again. We have a single hit, we have a miss, and we have a very catastrophic miss that you don't want to see. But
it's got a skull on it. Guys.
It does have a skull on it, yeah, it had to, yeah. So, but there's two instances on a dice where you can roll 1 hit.
Yeah.
There's also 2 instances where you roll a miss.
Right.
So it's still a D6 system, but it's got an interesting way that we combine and interact with our dice.
Okay.
This allows us to create something called a combat effectiveness table, which takes away a lot of the problems that some new gamers who perhaps haven't played a lot of war games before may encounter. So everybody starts at a very simple roll whereby so long as they don't roll a skull, if they roll a 2, 2 hits, a success, an explosive dice, if people have played our games before, they can re-roll. So they're allowed to re-roll a miss, but they can't re-roll a skull. And then if they move up or down the chart, it'll tell them what their hit roll is.
Oh, okay.
So it's incredibly intuitive, and it's always, you ask your opponent, are there any special abilities that will impair this shot? And they will say, yes, I'm elusive. Okay, I move down the chart, so I move to a heavy hitter roll, whereby every time I roll 2 dice, 2 hits, I get 2 hits. If I roll a 1 hit, I get 1 hit, but I don't get a reroll.
Yeah.
Now in our old game, and a lot of the Spartan products, we used different coloured dice mechanics to make that work. In this one, we didn't really want to do that. We just wanted to fit the statistics into a single dice roll. So that's what we've done.
Cool. Okay. So we've as we're looking at the table, we also, as well as the really cool models, we've also got a lot of counters, which I'm assuming we're looking at fighters, bombers, drones.
Well, what we've actually got is, surprisingly, there's only 4 tokens in the whole game.
Okay.
And those tokens are actually manifest on 2 individual tokens, which are double-sided.
Okay.
So we have a damage marker, which when you flip it over is also the activation marker.
Yeah.
We have a vulnerable marker, which when you flip it over is a sabotage marker.
Right.
And so what it means is that people don't have a big tray of tokens. They've only got 4 tokens, which are manifest as 2 individual tokens to carry. What we see on the table are actually bombers and interceptors.
Right.
And these are part of a wings phase, and they move in to engage in dogfights and attack runs. and we use a principle of locking and unlocking to create dogfights.
Oh, okay.
Which is a rather unusual way. It's very difficult to explain it verbally, but when you see it in play, it is very clever, I have to say. It's one of the things we're most proud of, because the tactics of the wing phase are as important as the tactics in the element phase, which is where you fire your models.
Yeah, because an awful lot of spaceship games, they have fighters because they feel they need to, but to be honest, they're more a pain than anything else, and they don't really tend to have much of an impact on the greater game. How are they handled in Halo Fleet Battles?
Bombers in Halo Fleet Battles are crippling. They're very good. They're picked. You pick them at targets that need to be bombed. So you pick targets that are damaged or in tatters, and you try and hurt them down. But you have to. It's about the synergy of the turn before. How did you get to that situation? Did you fire your mass accelerators to take the guy's shields down? Did you engage him with your missiles to try and weaken him so that you could send the bombers in your next turn? And then the interceptors are there to try and stop that from happening. But you can't use a bomber to block a bomber. It just doesn't work. You need the bombers to attack ships, and interceptors attack the bombers.
Right.
And when you field a battle group or field a ship, it'll always come with a set amount of flight wings, and you choose which ones you want. Okay. And then when the battle group coalesces together, those are all pooled into a group.
Yeah.
And that allows you to field them. It does look on this table. It looks like we've got a lot of tokens down, but it's only because I don't have any little ships on this table. I only have the big ships, and then because of that, and I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 carriers on the table. So that's going to put a lot of wings on the table.
All right, so although we're looking at card chits, they will be available as full models.
It's very difficult. I think that in time, almost certainly, we will go that way. The big problem would be it would transfer the cost to the customer.
Yeah.
And whilst these are an important part of the game, they shouldn't add £20, £30 onto the cost of a box as a result, because we need a lot of them to make this function. So we had a long chat about it, and we decided to go with the super durable card. So it's quadruple thick card. It's really heavy duty card. And because people will get so many of them, if one gets damaged, just throw it away. You will have hundreds.
Right.
It will not be a problem with that. And then in time, there's no doubt that we'll probably end up creating a luxury product for those people that do not mind spending that extra money, where they will be able to get a plastic stackable squadron.
Yeah.
One of the things to bear in mind, though, of course, is as a plastic stackable squadron, it has to be double-sided, because
so normal and damaged.
Normal and damaged. It means you don't have to have any markers on it. It is itself a marker that turns over to show it's damaged.
Cool. So, it looks.
It kind of blows your mind, doesn't it?
It does. It does. And I mean, when Neil first broke the news to us, we're doing a Halo game. It was like, really? So we've been looking forward to this for a while. So it is great to see it on the table. So we're looking at release June. Is this June, July?
I've been told to say summer.
Summer.
And I'm going to stick with it.
Fair enough. Well, thank you for your time, Derek. It looks like it's going to be a stunning game. Really looking forward to getting this on the table.
Oh, it's been a real pleasure talking to you, and hopefully we'll get you rolling some dice soon.
Oh, look forward to it, mate. Look forward to it. Thank you. Right, well, we've managed to catch up with Neil Fawcett from Spartan Games. Hello, Neil.
How are you doing? You alright?
All right. How's it going?
I am shattered, but good fun. I'm not yet. I'm too old to be standing on my feet all day.
Well, I mean, we're at Spartan Games, and it's been absolutely rammed all day.
Well, they seem to like it. They seem to have gone down very well. I mean, my guys are having a whale of a time, sort of playing the games, and we dragged everybody up from sunny Somerset, or not so sunny Somerset, and they're having a bit of a hoot, really. So yeah, it's good fun.
Right.
Good time all round.
Yeah, as I say, so the games look great. You sprung the assault carrier on us.
Well, the thing is, when we were building the game, you had to sort of set the scale for what models were going to be built, and the important thing was to get the assault carrier and things like Infinity into the game. So you have to you start, how far are you going with the big models, and then you basically work backwards to the small models. and that sets the standard for what everything's going to be and how we're going to do, and that's why the frigates are done as squadrons and multiples in the game, because it's all about them being, they are smaller, but they're very important in the game, especially in the UNSC fleet. So you have got this space with 3 on it. So no, it's pretty cool to have a couple of assault carriers there.
Yeah, it is, and of course now we can talk about ground combat game as well.
We can. You did a very good job of keeping quiet about that one.
It was really hard work, I tell you.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard work for us. Well, I mean, it's finding that I think you've got to. You can only really talk about it when you've got something to talk about properly.
Yeah.
So there's no point, going out there and saying we're doing blah and then blah doesn't exist. It's a bit like with the spaceships. We're here now. We've launched a 2-player box. We've got Lord knows how many more sprues to come and boxes to come and upgrades to come. It's a huge amount of work. But in the background, we're working on the 15mm game, which we started at exactly the same time as the spaceship game. But because it's a bigger array of models, it's making sure that we show where we're heading, set the scene, and let people get excited about it. I mean, those are pretty cool warthogs.
You kept those under wraps even from us a few weeks ago. Yeah, the warthogs are looking nice.
I told you the Scorpion would be amazing.
The Scorpion is amazing. It's lovely to see the Spartans in the flesh as opposed to just renders. They're looking really nice. And yes, you did hear it right. It's a 15mm game.
It is. Well, 1/100 scale, absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah. So everybody who was saying 28mm.
Well, 28mm would be cool, but people have had a lot of 28mm. If you think about what the computer game is, that's very much a 28mm transaction for the people. So from our point of view, we wanted the guys from Microsoft wanted a mass battle game. We looked at the scales. We got excited by 15. They got excited by 15. So it makes a huge amount of sense.
Yeah, and the level of detail involved on the figures is just fantastic, isn't it?
You can say that. I'd be a bit pompous to say that, but yeah, I'm going to agree with you because my boys have done a great job.
Yeah.
And our hat off to Microsoft for giving us beautiful imagery and assets that we can take a look at and aspire to make good models of. So and it's I can't reinforce the relationship, but this is very much a joint project with 343.
Yeah.
These guys are really on top of this with us. They're working with us on a daily basis. It is phenomenal to have access of my design team to work with their designers. It's hugely exciting, and it will result in a great product.
Yeah. And of course, you dropped in as well. So we've already seen the assault carrier. Said you got Infinity coming.
Oh, Infinity, Spirit of Fire. We've got UNSC super carriers. We've got a whole raft of models that have been talked about and discussed within novels and the Halo universe. So stuff that it exists as an idea or concepts at Microsoft at 343 that we will work with them to turn those into a reality. So this is just the beginning of this game. This is huge amount of work, and it's going to be very exciting.
Good stuff. And of course, Spartan Games carries on outside of Halo. I mean, we've got the new Planetfall Leviathans.
Planetfall is just a hugely successful game for us. Then the new Leviathans are designed to be exactly what they are, Leviathans. They're big boys on the table. They don't break it as a model type in the game. They complement the forces quite nicely. But you can take them down, throw enough heavy tanks at them, and they will crumble. So we are ridiculously excited about it all. We've got a lot happening in the background in Dystopian Wars at the moment as well. We've got a hell of a lot of models for that game. Now we're starting to look at some other non-model extras that we can start giving people to extend what they've got. Because a lot of people have got big fleets and big armadas and things like that. So now we're starting to look at where we can push it deeper for them and give them more toys to play with. So keep watching on that one.
Right.
And then of course Firestorm is just in itself goes from strength to strength. We've got a lot of fun things happening there.
Yeah.
Busy. I don't get much sleep. That's why I look so haggard.
So you've just announced the details for the box set for Halo Fleet Battles.
Yeah.
So how on earth do you manage to get 49 ships in a box?
Well, if you plan it and you're sensible and you're fair to your customer, you can do that. And the thing is, if you're going to offer a fleet game, give them a fleet. You know, that's why it's called. That's why it's called what it is. That's the name of the game. And it's very important we feel to give people, plenty of models to simulate that big action, because they were big fleet battles in Halo. Yes, you see a lot of cinematography in the games of single models and big models like, the Long Night of Solar supercarriers, but behind that are fleets of many, many ships, dozens of ships, hundreds of ships. And whilst I'm not saying that people should put hundreds of ships on the table, if I can give them the mechanic to do that without asset stripping them, why not?
Superb.
And then build a set of rules that allow them to play it. I mean, it's all about being fair and actually doing a good job. Because, I am a broken record with this, but without your customers, you're nothing. And you can see you've got to be fair to them.
Yeah.
End of.
Right. So we're looking at fleet battles coming out in the summer.
Indeed.
Yeah. And then ground game. or can't we discuss that yet?
Yeah, you're gonna have to come back for another Halo weekend on that one.
Oh, well, you can always talk us to that, Neil. Well, it's looking fantastic, mate. It really is. Thanks for chatting to us. It's great to see everything going well. Glad to see Spartan's been around today. Hope you have a good rest of the show.
No, cheers for that. I appreciate
and we'll catch up with you soon.
Yeah, take care of yourself.
Cheers.
Cheers, guys.
Wow, look who I just bumped into. Hello, Carl.
Hello.
Hello. Well, we haven't spoken since. A Kickstarter finished.
Oh yeah, a few weeks. Yeah. In fact, actually, is it 3? I don't know. It's all blurred. It really has all blurred.
Well, first off, congratulations on a really good Kickstarter, mate.
Yeah. Well, thanks for that. It was good. Really good.
Did it take you by surprise?
Yes. Yeah. I mean, it got to the point where I could breathe easy. Put it that way. Where it finished, it's given me some breathing space to actually feel like I can do the job the proper justice that I know it needs, and I'm not squeezing any edges, so I'm happy with where it ended.
Okay. Yeah. So I suppose as with everything, now the hard work begins.
Yeah, it's already been the last 3 weeks, or however I don't know what date it is, but the last few weeks has all been the groundwork of lead times and nitty gritty of how long is this bit going to take. Talk to the manufacturers for this bit, and that's without any of the additional content element. Yeah. The writing of that. So I'm hoping end of this month I'll be back onto the writing of the content.
Well, I was going to say, because you promised extra content, we've got extra scenarios coming.
I've got to write it up. I mean, the scenarios everything exists in one way, shape or form.
Right.
It's just the writing it up bit, and then the production of the photography and the design and all the surrounding elements. So it's that bit. I've got a board up on my wall which has got the breakdown of the weeks and what work has to be done in each week, so it's all timetabled in.
Oh, wow.
But the tricky bit at the moment is just getting the lead times of various bits like dice manufacture and things like that. That's been the I've been working on mostly.
Yeah. Okay. So I know we got all the questionnaires went out.
Yeah. Surveys. Yeah.
Surveys. Yeah. You managed to finish those off yesterday, I noticed.
Yeah, the surveys went out yesterday, and there was a little bit of confusion about them because of the way that the shipping thing works on the Kickstarter system.
Oh, that's right. We all live in we all live in Antarctica.
Yes. I know. I'm going to have to find if there's a research station over there with a wargamer in it. Actually, I really must.
Or just send him a couple of
exactly. Yeah. When it's all over and all the dust settles, send one down and say you won't know why, but you'll enjoy it. Send some figures with it.
Super.
But the shipping thing has caused some confusion. From what I've gathered from the backers telling me, you can change your address. It will say you're going to be, you will incur a charge for shipping, but you won't be charged anything. So it's literally just telling you to get in touch with me. But we've already been through the process of saying that shipping's going to be charged later, when closer to dispatch, when we know where everybody is and all of that kind of stuff. So there is no charges related to it. So if you do change from Antarctica, it's not a problem. So it's, but yeah, at the moment, lots of penguins again to be playing open combat, I think,
Superb. So I can't remember when delivery date of it was.
It was estimated July.
Yeah.
I'm still working on that basis, but I'm looking at the lead times of dice manufacture, and it's flexible depending on what's going through the factory. So that may be something that just nudges it slightly. It depends on what the prototypes are like when I get the prototypes back, and whether I get them approval and then that kind of stuff. And then obviously there's the book production as well. As far as book production's concerned, I know the timelines on that. As long as I can get everything done that I need to get done, it's all good for going into print and then towards the end of July going into shipping mode and shipping out. But obviously these things are estimates, and if anything, if it rolled into August, that's where I'd be thinking as far as it would roll. I can't see it being one of these ones that goes on and on. It's just not that kind of project. It's sort of July's the estimate. August is what would be, if something happens in production line somewhere. But other than that, it's still set for where it's supposed to be.
Great. Now, we're at Salute, and you're here as a normal gamer.
Yeah.
So what do you think of it?
I came down a few years ago just as a kind of wanderer around for the first time, actually. First time I've been to Salute. I was astonished at just the sheer noise, actually. That's one of the things, the noise that you've got around you. But also the amount of people that are here. There are a lot of people here that don't go to the shows further up in England, where, in Sheffield or whatever, Sheffield Triples or Derby Worlds, you don't see the same companies. So it's really nice to see everybody in one place. Not very good for your wallet, although I have been very, very careful today. I've been, more magazines and books related rather than adding more figures to the pile.
Yeah, stay away from the world mooches.
Yeah. And I went over to see Heresy and Hasselfree as well, and all those guys. It was like, I've got to step away from the cabinets. But I love it. And hopefully next year, I haven't spoken to the guys that run Salute yet, but hopefully next year I'll be able to down here myself with Open Combat and potentially any expansions that have come out by that point as well. So that's what I'm hoping. That's why I've come down actually, is just to check the whole sort of what the ground's like basically and get a feel for it again, and to say hello to people and bump into people again. Yeah, it's good.
Great. Well, thanks for talking to us, Cole. I shall let you get on with your wanderings.
Yeah.
And so again, congratulations on Open Combat.
No, thanks very much. It's been good.
It's been good, and we look forward to seeing it.
Yeah, me too. I'm really looking forward to seeing it. Cheers.
I managed to catch up with Martin from Warbases. Hello, Martin. How's Salute for you today?
We're having a great day today, Neil. It's absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, so you've got obviously loads of stuff coming out now. I mean, you've completely diversified from just being bases, haven't you? You've got all sorts of stuff these days.
Well, you have to try and diversify as much as you can these days in order to be able to kind of survive.
Yeah.
We've got some big competition on the scene, and that we're just trying to compete with.
Yeah. So I mean, obviously there's been some announcements about some new stuff you're doing with Too Fat Lardies as opposed to with scenery and stuff. Can you tell us a bit about what you've been up to recently and what you've got coming out?
Well, we just had a conversation with Richard at Vatten Attack in York back in February, and basically all we did was we discussed that he would like to produce some official chain of command type buildings.
Yeah.
So what we've done is we've worked with Richard to produce the first in what hopefully is going to be quite a big range of buildings to the official chain of command buildings.
Great. Okay, and that's in 28mm, isn't it?
They are 28mm, yes.
Yes. So I just before we started recording, I said, and so why aren't these in 15mm? Because they're probably too small.
That's pretty much. We try and do 28s and 15s where feasible.
Yeah.
We can have a look at doing them in 15, but it might be that they're too challenging to do that.
Yeah. And of course, you've been diversifying into figures as well, haven't you?
We have, yes. We just released a lot of new animals, and we've just done some musketeers as well that you're going to like.
I was going to say, you didn't happen to spot that news a couple of weeks ago, there was this note saying, I think Neil might like these. Yes, musketeers.
Yeah, I think you're going to like those because they're very similar, while they've not been too obvious.
Yes.
As to the
I was going to say, to a certain television programme that has not long finished its second series.
That's
yes.
right. That's right. We have to be,
yes,
be careful.
Yes. All right. So that's a brand new set. So what are we looking as far as that range is concerned at the moment?
At the moment, we've got a set of 7 figures, which are main characters in the film. We've just commissioned another 4 to complete the regular characters.
Yeah.
In those series of books by Dumas.
Yeah. And then I'll be looking at some extra bits and pieces for like extra musketeers and Red Guard and what have you.
Well, hopefully we'll be looking at things like mounted musketeers. Definitely be doing Red Guard packs and things like that as well.
Yeah.
So hopefully, maybe some civilians, street riffraff, that sort of thing.
Right.
And then we'll just see where we can take it from there.
Yeah, so, I mean, obviously these aren't the first things you've been doing. I mean, one thing you've been a lot of animals and stuff, haven't you?
That's right, and we've just released some new packs again today. We've just got a camel out, some foxes, some wolves.
Oh, you finally got the foxes right.
We've got the foxes out now. Yeah, so that's good.
I remember we were having a conversation. You were very pleased because your foxes were very unfox-like.
Yeah, but we got there.
Yeah,
we got there. A couple of discussions with the sculptor, and we've got it all sorted out now, and it's everything's fine.
Great. And obviously the MDF, as far as your basing, everything still rolls on. I just let guys know, I just had a great experience with Martin and Diane coming back and going, right, okay, I want all these really awkward base sizes, and it's great. Just so obviously it's stuff you do. Not only is it stuff that you do as standard, it's like basically if you've got anything that you want.
We do an awful lot of custom stuff as well. Probably somewhere around about 20% of our basing orders is actually custom stuff.
Oh, right, okay.
For people. So it is a big part of our business, and it's something that we want to be able to continue to do, to offer that bespoke service.
Yeah.
And because that's what we're known for.
No, it's great. Well, thanks for taking time to chat to us, Martin. I look forward to going to have a look at these musketeers.
Thanks very much.
And
Neil.
in the meantime, thanks for chatting, and have a good rest of the show.
Thank you very much.
Cheers. Managed to catch up with Colin from Battle Systems. Hello, Colin. How are you?
How you doing? You all right?
Yeah. Well, how's your salute been?
Salute's been fantastic. We came last year to sort of just have a look around, not with a trade stand. It was a little bit crazy because we were being stopped because of the videos, I think. Anyway, saying, "Oh, aren't you from Battle Systems?" Why aren't you here? Blah blah blah. So we pestered the guys and got ourselves a stand, and it's just been non-stop the whole day. Absolutely crazy. Yeah.
So this is. Probably one of the first times we've seen the fantasy, the full fantasy dungeon in the flesh.
Yes.
Yeah. So, it's looking good.
Really, really popular. We've had. It was really. We gave a little bit at the UK Expo last year. We gave a little bit of a sneak peek of a single level version, but this is the first time people have seen it built up properly in the full. It's had a lot of exposure, I think, at the show, which is really, really cool for us. So we're really happy.
Yeah, because obviously the sci-fi terrain went really well for you, and you've had a similar sort of experience on the fantasy side.
Crazy.
As I say, it's looking great. You just seem to have thrown so much stuff into it.
Yeah, the real key for us is that we don't want to just give like walls and rooms for people. It's all about the furniture and the clutter that we can put into that. And we like the furniture to be interactive, so you can take the lids off the tombs, and it adds a lot of flexibility to your missions, because if you've got 3 or 4 tombs spread out and you open the tomb, you haven't got the objective inside, then you have to find another one. The games are just much more exciting.
Yeah. Okay, so as far as delivery for the fantasy Kickstarter is concerned, how's that going at the moment?
So far we're still on target, which is July time.
Yeah.
As per Kickstarter. If it comes in July, that's probably Kickstarter first. I don't know, but I think we was about 2 months late or 6 weeks late on our sci-fi delivery, and everyone told us it was our first Kickstarter, and we was like, we're really sorry we're late, and everyone's like, guys, you're early. 6 weeks late is early for a Kickstarter. So far we're on target for July for the fantasy, hopefully that's going to arrive, and we're going to kick it straight out to the backers.
Right. It's looking fantastic. Lovely colours and everything. I was massively impressed with the game map, because obviously in the sci-fi, you went for the card game system. What made you go for the game map when it came down to the fantasy version?
Really, it was there's two aspects to it. One is the cost. On the sci-fi, the cost of the tiles is 9 sheets of card. There's a lot of manufacturing, a lot of tooling, die cutting involved in that. And as part of that, for us to sell, a set of floor tiles, you're looking at like 25 to 27 quid. Game mat we can pull out at £15, so it just makes it more accessible for the gamer. The bonus is, of course, people are used to the mats, they like the mat, and you can just sort of like flop it out and it's done. You know what I mean? So there's an easier setup as well.
Yeah. So are you looking to kind of retrofit that back into the sci-fi?
If we can get the mats produced the way that we want them, then we'll also do some artwork for the sci-fi, and we'll have that available as well for people to purchase, as it were. So definitely.
Great. Okay,
fingers crossed.
Yeah. So, but as well as the sci-fi and fantasy, we've got a bit of a preview of the next Kickstarter that you kind of teased on your blog this week.
Yes, the post-apocalypse terrain is really, we're great fans of games like Zombicide, Modern Warfare type games, and there is that kind of real need for me to have a modern day sort of like the Walking Dead sort of style, nowadays or very near future, that's run down, a bit broken down, and full of whatever creatures or terror that you want to put into it.
Yeah. Okay. So we see just a little townscape in front of us with a roadway and a couple of buildings, a diner. So is it going to be running along very similar lines to what we've seen before?
It's a little bit different. What we've done this time, we've, as one of our Kickstarter backers said, when they first saw the sneak peeks, they was wondering what kind of sorcery is this, because it's got no ramps on it.
Right.
So with the sci-fi and the dungeon, we've got these ramps which create this very corridor kind of look.
Yeah.
But I did notice that my house hasn't got ramps in it, so with this we've got no ramps, so we're quicker on the setup time.
Right.
And of course, it's different in design. We've also got a bit of outside stuff going on because we've got roadways. So the trick is we want to have this nice built-up sort of urban city area with roadways that you can walk down the road, you can storm from one building to another, you can climb, you can go up multi-levels in the building, and then we can really create a big city. If things go well, we're hoping to maybe like push it slightly rurally, maybe have the farmhouse like and then the barn and that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And if things go really well, who knows? Maybe we'll be able to do an underground sort of like clinical sci-fi base that maybe that's where the contamination starts. Who knows?
All right. So very much along a lot of genre feels there.
Yeah.
I mean, certainly with the fact of already we're looking at a lot more kind of outside stuff, which is obviously moving one step away. I mean, I know we've looked at, there's the fortress and then there's the outside of the compound for the sci-fi stuff, but obviously with this, looking a next step of moving away so it's outside and interior.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. I mean, I think for modern day, if you look at the modern day world, there is a lot of exterior and some interior, whereas if you're in a huge battle station or battleship, you're in a battleship. If you're in a dungeon, you're in a dungeon. So I think to go modern, you can't ignore the fact of roads, walkways and houses, and I think it adds another dimension to your gaming as well. Massive change.
So obviously with the rural side, we're just essentially looking at, I'm assuming what we're looking at here is we're looking at just changing game mats again. So from the rural, we'll just have it, they'll be looking at just a different game map?
A different one, maybe one that sort of gently feathers into that rural. Very early production at the moment, so we don't really know. And maybe in the corner of that we'll have a nice farmhouse which you can go in, maybe with roofs and have a barn, maybe a fence, a mailbox. Who knows what we're going to go with that? So, I mean, I've got some designs already. I've not put them in together in a model yet, but the designs are there. So I'm really hoping to be able to just have some fun with this set. And again, we're still internal terrain. We're, if you look at 50-60% of the set is still going to be you working your way through buildings and stuff, but you're going to have some fun on the road as well, out in the open.
Cool. Well, Colin, you've cost me an awful lot of money in the last 2 years.
I apologise.
But no, it is fantastic stuff. Check Battle Systems out. I mean, talking of which, actually, obviously you've gone through the Kickstarter stuff as far as all your sci-fi stuff is concerned. How are we looking as far as then producing, has like a standard retail?
Okay, at the moment we're keeping it quite simple. We're a small company, and we don't want to overstretch ourselves because we don't want to do anything that's gonna stop us from producing the quality that we want to produce. If that means that we don't go to retail because we'd have to pull back on quality, we will not go to retail. Okay. With retail, there's a lot of different constraints and things that come along with that. We don't charge massively extortionate prices for our sets, which means we don't take massive profit margins. In order to go to retail, you do need huge profit because they'll take the big cut, as it were, not to get too business head about it. So we would have to do for retail as well. There's this sort of magic sort of £45-50 price point, so we'd have to reduce the set size. There's a lot of work involved in that, and at the moment, to be fair, we're just enjoying putting fantastic sets together and giving it to the people that want it. So we're happy to manage that ourselves and carry on doing that until it gets to the stage where retail becomes a necessity.
Right. Yeah. Okay, well, Colin, thanks very much for talking to us.
No problem.
And it's great to see all this stuff. And you even tempting me with the moderns.
Well, I apologise again.
Well, as I say, I hope you continue to have a good show, and we'll catch up with you soon.
Fantastic. Cheers.
I actually managed to catch up finally with Andy and Wendy Cooper. Hi guys.
Hello.
Hi. Hi. So how's Salute been?
Fantastic. Yeah, busy as ever.
Yeah, it seems a bit busier this year actually.
Yeah, body after body.
Yeah, I think there's been a higher footfall this year. Maybe the organisers will tell us otherwise, but it seems we've had a lot of people coming in on the stand. But maybe that's because we've got quite a lot of new things to see. A lot of new shinies.
A lot of new shinies. Yes. Well, first off, because we haven't really had a chance to speak, congratulations with War Empire Kickstarter.
Thank you.
That kind of went a bit mad, didn't it?
Yeah.
It did at the end. Yeah.
Yeah.
It did.
Absolutely, it did.
So you've done the Big Bang approach, and you produced an entire range.
167 codes of ancients. That's from early Achaemenid Persian through to Julius Caesar.
Right.
So
that's a lot of figures.
23 armies. Yeah. I think it's over 1,000 sculpts.
Right.
Yeah. And I think the Kickstarter in total, we produced over 250,000 castings.
Oh my word! So basically, that's why we've not heard from you for about a year or so.
Yeah.
Because you've just been a little bit busy.
Yes.
Yeah, heads down. Yeah. It's taken us 6 months to fulfil.
Yeah.
So it's taken us since November, and we've just finished now. We've finished just the week before Salute. So it's took 6 months. I mean, we've had Christmas.
Yeah.
We had a bit of a break at Christmas, but it's just the level of castings that we need.
350 backers. The way our system works, that generates 350 orders, basically.
Yeah.
Each one's treated as an order, and you're in an order queue, basically. Yeah. Well, that generated how many more orders?
I think we ended up at about 600 orders in the end, in total.
Double the number.
So people were multiple ordering after the original pledge was put in. They were adding to the pledge with whatever, really.
Yeah.
Lots and lots of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, as I say, with the fact it's taken 6 months for you to get where you are.
Yeah.
I mean, one thing's kudos, and because a lot of companies don't do it, is that when you turn around and went, well, we're not coming to retail until we fulfil the Kickstarter. I mean, commercially that's quite a brave decision.
Yeah.
Considering,
Yeah.
especially considering how much stuff you've done.
Yeah.
But it's finally here. How's it gone? How's it gone down? How's it been received?
It's great. Yeah. I mean, it's like holding your breath. You got to hold your breath for a long time, sort of thing. But in the end, it's paid off dividends.
Yeah. And the range is here today, and there's been a lot of interest. A lot of people don't know anything about it as well. So we do see that in the coming months, it's going to be really picking up speed.
Yeah.
So it's been great.
Especially as the new version of the rules comes out as well. A lot of people asking when's the rules ready. And we've been through a couple of iterations of rules.
Yeah.
But the third one we think is the best.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely sort of got everything right this time.
Yeah.
And that'll be a free to download PDF rule book. So to begin with,
Oh, right, okay.
It'll be free. Yeah.
All right.
So the idea behind that is we want people to feed back on it and say what they like, what they don't like, what doesn't work, what they think would work better. So when we come to actually print the thing, we can sort of incorporate all that into it. So it's kind of like open play testing in a way.
Yes.
It looks good.
Cool. So we've got 15 mil ancients, 29 armies, is that right? 28?
29,
27.
There's a lot.
There's a lot. I bet you're sick of the sight of sculpting them, aren't
There's
you?
a lot. Well, I haven't been sculpting. I am doing some generals at the moment because I need generals for the army sets.
Yeah.
But I haven't sculpted any since September.
Yeah.
Because I've been working on other projects. So I've been working on something else.
Working on other projects?
Yeah.
Oh, right.
I've been working on this.
Oh, right, okay. For those out in Radio Land, we are now looking at Secrets of the Third Reich 2, which I know even when War and Empire was going, people were going, okay, so when's Secrets coming out then?
Yes, I've had that for quite a while.
Yeah.
But I had to stick to what we'd agreed to do, so,
Okay, right, so we do. So is that the next big? Is that the next best thing then?
Next big thing is this.
Next big thing.
This is coming next. Hopefully in May.
Well, yeah, because you're putting War and Empire out on general release on the 4th of May, isn't it?
Yeah, 5th of May.
5th of May.
Yep.
And then, so are you going to go Kickstarter again with Secrets?
Yeah, Secrets. Yeah. Once we fine-tune the campaign, we should be, on Kickstarter with it. There's a bunch of images on there. And that's an Avenger Aeromech. It's US Marine Corps.
Okay, so remind us where we're up to with Secrets, because we had the original rulebook, and then we've had one expansion, haven't we?
Doomsday.
Yeah.
So we've had Doomsday. We've had the original Secrets of the Third Reich. Secrets of the Third Reich 2 is a major reorganisation of rules and the introduction of some new armies, if we can reach them on the Kickstarter.
Oh, right, okay.
Which are Japanese and US Marine Corps specifically. Plus, if we reach them, we'd like to do a bunch of special units for other armies, so for the standard armies.
Yeah.
So for the Russians and the British. So we'd like to, we got things like planned like SAS Meteor Troopers, which are kind of a bit like drop troopers but more elite kind of thing. They use anti-gravity sort of technology. There's all kinds of new weird stuff coming up. Weird sci-fi World War II. It's cool. It's cool.
Oh.
Yeah.
We're just looking at what is that? Oh, Cerberus.
Cerberus. Yeah.
Cerberus. Yes, and it's Cerberus with 3 dog heads. Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
SWD Werewolf. Yeah. And that's all Russian. US Marine Corps. That's a Air Landing Brigade. US Marine Corps. So they're kind of beachhead troops that come off the carriers and things.
Yeah. Okay, so as far as the actual Kickstarter is concerned, so originally are we looking at just launching the rulebook and then expansion troops and what? Because obviously the Secrets range is quite big as it is, isn't it?
It is, yeah. It's a big range. There must
be a couple of hundred codes in the
definitely.
range.
Yeah.
So it's quite comprehensive. So.
Yeah. So, but obviously we're just looking at new expansion and
Yeah, to hopefully bring new players into the game as well. So, you know, the Kickstarter will probably offering a rule book and a starter set to get started with, and then, you know, and if you choose a rule book and a Japanese starter, if we reach that, if we manage to get the Japanese unlocked, then you can choose that kind of thing.
Right.
You know. Plus, we'll be having, hopefully, the stretch goals, the freebies and things, should be a bunch of freebies, which are going to be mercenary characters that are called the Lost Patrol.
Oh, right.
So, because one of the sort of technical problems with having 4 factions is if you hit a stretch goal, then what do you give people as a reward? Now, you sort of kind of, well, you can give them a Russian guy. Well, that doesn't work for the Germans, the British, and the Americans. So we kind of give them these black and white, you know, grey sort of characters that they can use, you know, of which there's one.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
That looks good.
Who's that then, Andy?
Yeah, that's Iron Ike.
Iron Ike.
Iron Ike.
Oh.
Yeah.
So so we're looking at that end of May.
Hopefully the beginning of May.
Beginning of May. That's the right.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, in that case, then it sounds like we need to get you on the show and get you chatting all about
Sorry
it.
to spring it on you.
No, that's fine. No,
We've sort of been building to it
been
quite a
waiting.
while, but because War and Empire's taken up a lot of time.
Yeah, as I say, I mean, some people might be forgiven for thinking, well,
will they
what's
ever do it?
Yeah. Well, also, it's like, what's happened to Westwind? They've been quiet for so long.
Yeah.
I know.
It's been a classic duck, hasn't it? You know, yes, gliding nicely across the surface and working like mad underneath.
Yeah, absolutely.
There's been plenty doing.
It's great to see War and Empire. I'm sure there was a certain amount of relief and a certain amount of glad to see the back of it.
No, I'm over that phase.
You are.
He's on to the next one now.
Yeah, I'm on the next project.
I mean, actually, considering like War and Empire is up to Caesar. Are you looking at maybe doing War and Empire 2, looking at later?
Possibly.
Ancients?
Yeah, I can't say.
Can't say.
If I say that, then people will go, when is he going to do War and Empire 2? You know, they'll start bugging me for it.
Okay.
And the thing is, Neil, what we have to remember is there's only one guy here doing all this. So he's just completed that huge range that will never, ever be done again, I don't suppose, with anyone else.
And of course you need to go back and finish the World War II 40 battle stuff.
Yeah,
and that to do as well. Yeah, we've got some stuff coming for that. We've got 8th Army and Africa Corps done.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, superb. When are they coming out then?
They're done, so we're just waiting on the painter to paint them, and then they'll be in production and released. So.
Yeah.
Oh, fabulous.
And also the Requiem rules are imminent now.
Yeah, finally
they're all laid out.
Testing took a long time, but it's you know, they were worth, you know,
Had
getting
a lot
it
of
right.
feedback in off those, haven't we?
Yeah.
And we're ready to go with those now. So.
All right, so very much the case of there's an awful lot.
It's all coming together, really. Yeah, it's just, I know it's been a long time.
We've been quiet, but like you say, we've been
working.
Like
we have been working.
So when you're that busy, you can't get out and market yourself. Which is but it's a double-edged sword. So,
yeah. Well, it's great to catch up with you both.
Yeah,
good to see you. And as I say, we shall have to get you on the show really soon because it sounds like you've got so much to talk about.
We have.
And we look forward to it.
Yeah,
we do.
Thanks for your
thanks for your time.
Thanks.
Thank you, Neil.
Here we are, we're in the car and back on the way home from Salute for another year. So what do you think of that then, Dave?
Rubbish! No. You think of it so far. Yeah, it was good. It was good that it was a bit bigger this year. Plenty of room to move around, which I think I've already commented on. Plenty of people as well, really.
Yeah, it seemed although it was bigger, it seemed really, really busy for most of the day, didn't it? And I mean, you know, most wargame shows tend to tail off after about 2 o'clock, and that one just seemed to keep going.
Yeah, it did. Yeah, to be fair, there's still plenty of people knocking around doors, right to the death.
Yeah, although I mean, I suppose having said that, you know, even a couple of thousand people in a place like that, you know, it's going to make the place look like it's being visited. I mean, obviously it died down from first thing. It was fairly manic. I think we spoke to Henry early in the day, and they said something like that about almost 5,500 pre-sold tickets.
So no, almost as much as the Sherlock gig next door. Then 10,000.
We just had a smile. Unless of course you wanted to run the London Marathon. One of the other things on
Neil's entered.
Yeah,
I signed him up. He doesn't realise it.
What?
Yeah, you're in, Neil. You're in. You're in.
Okay.
You've got the chicken suit ready. Don't get overtaken by the bloke in the turtle suit, and you'll be all right.
In fact, there was the London Marathon. There was a Sherlock convention, which that's the BBC TV series, and then there was Salute. Quite a difference. Yes, the concourse looked interesting.
Yeah, we discovered a hobby that was actually more expensive than wargaming. It was going to Sherlock.
Yeah, it's about to get it in costs about a yearly gaming budget or something like that. I don't know, maybe more.
Unless you bought the platinum ticket, of course, and you could have a picture taken with Benedict Cumberbatch.
Yeah, we're starting to sound sad, so let's go on to the gaming. Yes, passing quickly on. So yeah, it's a good show, lots and lots to see. As you've heard, we did actually manage to get around lots of interviews this year. Still didn't get to chat to everybody that I wanted to.
You never get to talk to all the people you want to.
Yeah, well, it's just one of those things. At times it was like, okay, I'll try and get to chat to this person or that person. They're a bit busy, and then by the time you've wandered around a bit, the moment's gone, and it's such a big show. The one thing I suppose I was most conscious of is that having spent 7 hours at a wargame show, I don't actually think I saw that much of it. You saw some highlights, but didn't see half the games that were being played.
To be honest, I saw more games towards the end of the day when it was the last half an hour when it was clearing out.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, I didn't see that. Where was that? It was because there was about 50 people around the table. That's why you didn't see it.
Yeah, which in itself is a good thing, because at least it means the games are generating interest in this, that, and the other. But yeah, it seemed to be a good show.
The Star Wars Hoth game, that was ridiculous. The amount of people around that table.
Oh, it was rammed 3 deep with children to 12, wasn't it?
Yeah, and adults over 50.
Yes. It was a lovely setup, and we looked at it and kind of went, well, having said that, it was a bit like looking at the foreground tables. Foreground had a huge stand this year, and
it's been about the biggest there, really, with Wayland.
Yeah, and you looked at some of their gaming tables and you kind of go, how much scenery's on there? How much is that table worth? Good grief! There's some of them, yeah. I mean, they're lovely looking tables, but you kind of think, oh heck,
Never in the range of the mere mortal's pocket.
Well, not unless you want to spend a lot of money.
a lot of money.
But so there was lots of stuff that looked really cool, and it was great to catch up with a load of people and what have you. And I suppose if Salute is a measure of how the hobby's going, it seems to be doing all right at the moment.
Yeah.
So yeah, good day. Didn't buy a tremendous amount. I think yours amounted to some powers and some sheep, didn't it?
Mine's an absolute record. Mine is Salute. I managed to spend £8.50 on a can of spray, and £3 from Mr. Pig.
Oh right, okay. Yeah. So
so it's an absolute record for me.
You've never spent so much?
I've never spent so much at Salute. Yeah. I feel I'm going to have to go home and have a couple of beers now to recover.
Whereas in the meantime, saw lots and lots of nice stuff, but picked up a church from Landmark, some dead cows. A good day. So thanks to everybody for listening to Meeples at Salute. I hope you've enjoyed the show, and we will speak to you again really soon. So thanks for listening. Take care.
It's goodbye from me.
And it's goodbye from me. Okay, cheers everyone. Bye.
Thank you for listening to the Meeples and Miniatures podcast. If you want to know more about Meeples and Miniatures, there are several things you can do. First of all, you can visit the website at www.meeplesandminiatures.co.uk. If you want to contact the show at all, you can email me at neil@meeplesandminiatures.co.uk. You can follow the show on Twitter. Simply look for M&M Podcast, or click the follow us on Twitter button from the website. We also have a group on Facebook. That's the Meeples and Miniatures Podcast Fan Club. Again, follow the link from the website. And finally, if you want to help us to support the show, you can always donate to the podcast by clicking the PayPal button on the donate page, again found on the website. Once again, thank you for listening. I hope you've really enjoyed the show. Take care, and I'll speak to you soon.